What's up, everybody? Starting today the way we start every day, shot out of the damn cannon. Welcome back, Call to the Pen HQ with the big man, Jay Bird on the ones and twos. Hardest working duo in the game, baby. Yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Fastest show in MLB. Absolutely anywhere. Take that mother effort to the bank, yo. Come on. The nuance of context application we're doing, game theory, risk management. Like hardcore baseball analytics. Really pushing it to the fore. All right, everybody. Let's do the thing we do. There's only a couple games. Just like the substitute teacher day, a little in and out. You know me, I'm sure we'll have a tangent or two. I'll try not to ramble as much as I did yesterday. But if you didn't listen to yesterday's show, lots of really good betting nuggets. Jay, I wish I could describe what we're doing here. It's like, it's really bad, right? This is Sparta. We give to the books nothing, take from them everything. I'm serious, man. The show's off the walls. All right, let's just do it. We are certainly entering the time of year that no one cares about baseball anymore. Right on cue, BGC, what's going on? Good morning, William Craig. Ramble on. That's a classic rock song, right? I'm a rambling man. That's a shit, sure. I'm a rambling man here. All right, let's just do the game thing. We did pretty well yesterday. Right back on the horse, right? Wheeler definitely got his outs. He was phenomenal. Phillies definitely got the F5, lost the game. Oh, love that. Not like I care about Phillies, not to piss off any fanatic fans out there. But I love when, you're live with the A-team, with the cigar. Love when the plane comes together. But the truth, right? Hashtag we hate bullpens for a reason. You don't want to count out the Braves. How long was it going to be until they started hitting, realistically? And like those things kind of played out. So I was enjoying that. And man, just lost it on the other one. All right, I guess whatever. We're not really talking to them today. Oh, it was the dogs were getting smoked again. Those baby snakes. I refuse to back. I refuse to back them. Like I won't back them, but intellectually, I keep refusing to back them analytically. But we were telling you to be wary of the offense. We went under the 4.5. That was a winner too, Jay. That was the other one I want to get to. So, there is some love in the playoffs. People ask me where the bets go. You don't want to push it. It should be more about the pricing. So, like, pricing that you chase, right? Part of the reason we love NFL so much, because it happens more sporadically. The offers are longer on things to happen, right? It's more of an alt prop kind of game. There you get those big odds. Yeah, teeth in that. But like we're talking about betting minus 110s. It's not like shouldn't really move the needle for you. It shouldn't be something that you're, willing to sacrifice quality of analysis for. That's for damn sure. Oh, look at those. That's one of those lessons. All right, now let's get into the games. It's the Astros first up, plus 120 dog on the road against the Twinkies, minus 155, and Sunny Day Gray on the bump. This one's 1-1. And feels like it's going to go the distance, but more so pisses me off it's not 7 games. This feels like an ALCS. This feels like it almost has a feeling the winner of this one might go, but I guess we will talk about the other game in a second. But you really get that feeling that this is like the heavyweight fight. Let's look at Javier first. It's been a rough go. One of my bigger L's on the season. I got to take my L's as they come. I did very well in fantasy this season, and again, we did well betting. But I liked Javier to take a step forward. That did not happen. Right, so let's look at it. 31 games started. You pitched a full season. 11 quality starts. Only 1 money start. Again, right, that's a stat that I developed myself. A little Barry Horowitz right there. Idea being quality starts are good, but not great, especially in the playoffs. 6-3 just might not do it. So you're going to have to do better than that. I kind of changed the parameters. Went to 7 innings minimum, 2 earned runs maximum to get yourself a money start, right? Those single starts are kind of move the needle, right? Those determinative starts. So, something I have my eye on. Only one of those, not any good. Javier's really struggled on the road. He's on the road. He's also struggled against lefties. Twins have a few of those. He's given up 3 earned runs or more 18 times. 3 walks or more 9 times. 2 home runs or more 5 times. A little worried about Javier on the bump. The fastball down a mile an hour year over year. Down now to 93. He's still pumping it in 58% of the time. That's part of the problem. 490 X slug, really poor. Contact quality allowed, 27% whiff. Now, the whiff rate is extremely high for a fastball, particularly one that doesn't have crazy velo. But given the struggles and given the contact allowed, I don't know why he throws it so damn much. 58% is enough. Other teams will kind of sit on it, right? In particular, if you're not landing the breaking stuff. Something that we saw from Eovaldi in his first game out. We'll talk about him again in a little while. But that's the big difference there. Right? We were worried about the fastball. He didn't really need it. He was locking him up, prolapsing the anus, with the curveball. Javier, for me, it's too fastball heavy. 21 home runs year to date on that pitch. He's only completed 6 innings, 2 of the last 11 starts down the stretch. Been a rough go. Minnesota offense, top 5 in OPS, NWRC plus versus righties 2H. They've been really good. Again, I mentioned the Javier struggles against lefties. Jeffers and Taylor both had a 1,200 OPS. Second half covering at least 45 plate appearances or so. The reason why that really matters, I always try and stress this, is I almost feel like offensive depth in the playoffs is better graded on the back end. If you made it this far, your first 4 are probably really good. Then it becomes a matter of the, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the Twins, though, the name brand value is not like through the roof, let's say. Right, but they're not necessarily marquee. They really have produced in these spots. Twins have done a good job. I don't want to say platooning, but just maneuvering. So when they started the year, they were really kind of right-hand heavy. But we've seen them make the necessary additions now. Edouard Julien, he's projected to lead off, right? Added him midseason, called him up. Polanco's a switch hitter. Kepler's healthy, cleaning up. Kirilloff, healthy, lefty. Brought in Matt Wallner to play left, also lefty. Twins added that balance in the back end, right? They like the front, so they fixed the back, and I'm really into that offensive depth. Kind of scares me. Again, versus lefties year to date, Julien, Kepler, Polanco, and Wallner all have a minimum 14% barrel, minimum 10 home runs, minimum 400 expected WOBA versus left-handed fastballs. Again, you're expecting 60% use. They're going to be waiting for it. So it's all like the ancillary names on Twins that I'm really worried about. I'm really worried for Javier. On the other side, Sonny Gray, really, he just had a great season. 2.8 ERA, 115 whip, 607 OPS. Indicators are good but not great, but they're all sub 4. Expected ERA, 3.66, which is good. 17 KBB, 26 whiff. Above average, but really not popping off the page. It's the control stuff that's really just gotten it done for him. His ability to work around the edges. And then we'll get into why the Twins now, people, again, looking forward, right? Microscope to telescope, always kind of jumping in the blimp and getting a 35,000-foot view of the battlefield. The Twins must be added to the list of teams that we expect growth when they add pitchers from. And, excuse me, of course, everyone is getting sick again here. My kids are back in school, so it's a given. The Twins front office and, pitching org, adding sweepers. Pablo Lopez talked about this. He elevated Sonny Gray as well. So let's do the big stuff on Gray first. From a macro standpoint, I should have did it. And then we split proof, right? Always one of the first things I look for. What I mean, he had a 284 max WOBA allowed lefties, righties, home and away. That is phenomenal, right? Can't phase him. No tough splits. Always a big thing in the playoffs. 32 games started, 17 quality, 6 money. 10 Ks or more 2 times. 0 games of 2 home runs allowed. So you're getting fastball, cutter, curve, sinker. Contact quality has been an issue on all but the sweeper. 420 X slug on the fastball and the sinker. that fastball bin. But curve and cutter, minimum 28 whiff, and the big thing again, that sweeper that the Twins have added to the rotation that has elevated all of these guys. If you hear the Twins bring someone in, and in particular they're talking about adding or improving a sweeper, you gotta listen nowadays. That's where the fantasy value was, right? If you drafted Pablo Lopez, you drafted Sonny Gray, you looked like a freaking genius because you got all the stats, you got everything you needed late, and they stayed healthy. So the sweeper, check it out, right? We have our triple slash usage, X slug, whiff rate. Makes sense. Deployment, contact quality, swing and miss ability. It's a really kind of quick and concise way to think about individual pitches as part of the tapestry of your analysis. That sounded smart. Rate, review, and subscribe if you agree. The sweeper, 20% use. So it's used, right? That's, I don't know if you necessarily call it a primary pitch, but it's right there. It's a heavy secondary. 197 X slug. I had to make sure that I didn't copy batting average or expected batting average. Sub 200 expected slug with a 41% whiff rate. Clearly, objectively, one of the best pitches in the major leagues. Expect Gray to lean on it today. Houston offense. Very good versus righties. Top 5 in OPS and WRC plus second half. And again, just down to the individual level, they've really gotten from the boppers, from the studs up front. Altuve, Bregman, Jordan Alvarez, Tucker, and Yainer Diaz. Well, at 930 OPS, minimum OPS, second half versus righties. That's phenomenal. 2 or 3 of them over 1,000. Jordan Alvarez, in particular, the guy we want to look for. Jay, could you bring up the total base prop? It probably starts with a negative, which is whack. Then I'll have you go over and look at the HRR. Oh, was that right? Man, Alvarez, really tough to pass on with those prices, but Gray's just been he's been such a goat and tough on lefties, but let me just lay it out for you. Maybe we won't bet the total bases. Maybe this is like the DFS run back. Jordan in the second half versus righties. Cartoonish numbers. 80% contact, 50% hard hit. A 490 xWOBA with 13 Shamalama ding-dongs. I don't think I'm going to go there. I think what I probably like on this one is the Twins team total. You know, again, in the playoffs, very difficult to handicap. If anything, I feel like you're eliminating variables. So what's that team total like? I didn't get the price at Jay, my bad. Twins team total. I know I saw the Javier out prop. Oh my goodness, we love that. Hold on, I saw the Javier out prop is at something here just doesn't make sense. So the Javier out prop is at 12.5 outs, which is like, again, just freakishly low. So you would think that the total run would be a lot higher. Yeah, Jay, I can't go under that, and we're going to bet against them. I was just wanted to lay that one out for people that are into that. It's just really, really low. So let's take the team total over. It kind of makes sense to me. I saw even money for 4 at Pinnacle, which means the 3.5 that was hanging out there is probably live. Jay, bring that up one more time for us, pretty please. Which should we are on top? Going on Sakar. I'm trying to filibuster this to get to DK, like my live stuff. DK has 4.5 hung out there. Although they have all the old stuff, so you could I don't know where it is. All right, so maybe we shouldn't go with the 3.5. Tim York, good morning, my man. Maybe we should go with the 4 and the even. Again, you know, right? Man, I give Pinnacle a lot of respect. Don't you give Pinnacle a lot of respect, Jay? If your answer is yes, I'll pay the 140 for the 3.5. Like 3.5 for this offense against Javier was really struggled. That's a beauty. All we're paying that extra tax for is the split. I'd rather walk away with the money. So it's an interesting price in there. Funny to see. Again, sorry, shame on me. I mentioned DK having 4.5, but I didn't see the price. Yeah, it's plus 115 right now. So I guess maybe that makes sense. If I have a choice, Jay, I would take the minus 140 for the 3.5. Even money for 4, also viable. Let's hit one of those. and move it on. William Craig says Kramer's is 10.5. Is that right? My goodness. My goodness. I know Cardi and the guys at Scores were tweeting about that. Listen, man, I elevate. I don't like to plagiarize or, push people down. But I saw them, not that they own this stuff, but I saw them tweeting about it. And it's the truth. And I meant to say one more thing about how we hit the Wheeler over at 15.5. I think it closed at 14.5. So the premise of the tweet was how outprops were so low. And again, I think we've seen that. So thanks, William Craig, kind of pointing that out, adding to it. I mean, 12.5 for Javier is so low. Like, I can't go under that. But at the same time, you got to see how that is kind of incongruent with such a low team total, right? So I'm going to pass on the Javier stuff. But now it makes me think, what about the hit props? I don't always do this. I'm kind of just mammering through this. But this one too, G, bring that up. I want this also. If you can get the same line, DK has 3.5 hits allowed, minus 105. Like, how could you? You're expecting him to get run before 12.5 outs without giving up 4 hits? It's not even like he's not a big walk guy. Really kind of strange stuff on the pitching board. I mean, 9% walk rate it's not great. It's not great, but it's far from like this disaster. This is not a guy walking the world. I'm sure his walk prop's 2.5 juiced. So yeah, let's go over the hits also, man. So I think that's a good way to write cooperative plays to get at Javier. Again, we're also kind of attacking the book's own numbers, Jay. And this should float your boat. Anybody, if you're not friends with Jay, you should become friends with Jay. He's a really cool dude. But again, one of the things I talk about, well, a few of the things I talk about, one is malleability, the door swinging both ways. And for as much as I teach, I always like to learn. And the one thing I've really learned from our good friend and producer, Jay, is use the book, man. Use the book as a lamppost, right? He doesn't base his plays on what they think. But I truly think incorporating their stance is extremely valuable and a plus EV move. And it's really very in line with the arguments I've made for my own model. Right? That it's so cheap and publicly facing that even if you're like some, hyper competitive, you work for one of my competitors, I charge freaking $20, But somebody does the big money paywall stuff, who's this guy, You would think they'd be paying to look at it, see what it is. Where do we agree? Where do we disagree? So I have to meet you, Jay, before we wrap up this show and this season, because that's something that I'm going to take with me. Even if you're not going to bet them, looking for clues in the prop market. So I think that was today's feather. Rate, review, and subscribe. If you've learned a single thing here this year, we're bringing the show for free. I mean, pretty awesome. Learning stuff for free is really good. Remember, people pay for higher education, and in fact, not to toot my own horn, but I have, gotten, 3 digits an hour to tutor, like north, not like several $100s an hour to piece together risk management plans, explain to people in a more, one-on-one level. So, cross a cartoon figure, not a bad trade. Well, let's do the second game. We got a couple bets there. I feel a little bit better, right? Where Twinkies over, Javier hits over. All right, cool. I don't want to leave people with nothing. That's like the worst. Okay, let's do the other one. Blackbirds and Orange Vests plus 125. Dogs on the road against the Walker Texas Rangers minus 135. Nasty Nate Eovaldi on the bump for the Rangers. Let's start with Krispy Kremer. 4.12 ERA, 1.3 whip, kind of meh. 40 hard hit, 9 barrel, 1.5 homer, 9 on the macro. Look year to date, kind of meh. Believe it or not, small L for me. I actually don't have him on I build like a, my postseason player sheet. I'm going to have to do it every single day and just add in everybody from all the competitive teams. Guys I thought would pitch this series, I thought they were going to go Gibson over Kramer. So this is probably, this was waiting, Craig. Hopefully William Craig's still sticking around. One of the more, interactive, immersed, and sharper listeners, I may be the professor, but there's a lot of really, really sharp students, right, that are equals, right? We are peers. So check out the comment section plus EV like every single day. But I think that's the answer to it. Will, is they probably the writing's on the wall that the hook is quick. Right? If Kramer doesn't come out clean, he's not staying in. So let's just do it really quick. 14 quality starts, not bad. 4 money, more than I expected. 4 out of 32, 1 out of 8 to Gem is kind of meh at the stage of the game, but he had a single 10 strikeout game, again, meh. He faced Texas once, went 6 in the third, gave up 3, 5 Ks and 2 walks, all just kind of meh. Fastball, cutter, sinker, change, curve, sweeper to righties only, pretty deep arsenal, but they all get hit hard. Every single pitch has a minimum 400 X-lug, not great. Fastball and the cutter, put them together, 60% use on the fastball bin, a 460 X-lug, 26 whiffs. So he gets the strikeouts, which keeps him coming back for more, but he gets hit really hard, which is probably good for us. 19 home runs on the fastballs year to date. And then when you zoom in on the lefties, which he struggled against, a 630 expected slug on that fastball bin versus lefties year to date. I mentioned that. 270, the struggles, 270 BA, 811 OPS, 349 WOBA, 29 extra base hits to southpaws. So I think that's what we're going to look for our first play. Jay, can I see the pricing on total base props whenever we're looking at lefties and the Rangers? You got to be looking at my boy Corey Seager, Hambone. Yo, player prop, what's going on, Just? Get the DMs, let's do the football show, baby. That's what I was afraid of. It's negative money. All right, just keep that in mind, Jay. Scroll over to hit run Ribby. It's not 1.5, is it? Seager's probably 2.5. 2.5, but it's plus money. I don't know. I'm stuck, man. I don't know. I kind of like that 2 flat. I don't think we could take that one. I think that's a rogue. I think that's a rogue one. Man, I'm stuck. All right, let me stew on it. Let's see if we can sell you on it. I'm just not a big fan of paying any kind of juice on total base props. I like to get them with plus money. But here's the reason why. So we mentioned Kramer struggling with lefties. Check out Seager. This is cartoonish. This is absolutely freakish. I don't think Seager gets enough love for being one of the best hitters in the game. Second half, covering 185 plate appearances against righties. Corey Seager, 305 batting average, a 1055 OPS, and a 366 isolated slugging. Remember, ISO is your extra base hit rate. Now, 37% extra base hit rate. It's insane. Versus right-handed fastballs and cutters, right? So I put the bin together that he's going to see, that 60% use that we referenced, coming from Kramer, the hyper use from Krispy Kremer. 80% contact. Check this out again. I had to double check this. When I run into stats, I run so many of them. Some of them stick out. They just blow my mind. I don't know if I've ever seen this. 80 contact, 72% hard hit rate. It's insane. 24 barrel, 16 blast. Remember, if you take anything from the show, one of the things I'd like you to remember, one, we differentiate hard hit rate on BIS from Savant. Also, we like to differentiate barrels from blasts. Understand that. Barrels are awesome. They were also kind of like developed when the ball was a bit livelier. And what happened is, now that we've had a bit of a change and a slight suppression in offense and home runs, some of those launch velocity combinations, right? Exit velocity, launch angle, launch velocity, LV. Some of those LV combinations now are not as good as we want them to be, right? In particular, the higher stuff. The idea was when the seams were raised on the ball, you got to think of it as like a little flap. So it's like 1,000 little parachutes. I had a really smart quantum physics professor explain this to me. So I'm not that smart. And the idea is the balls that are higher, more hang time is more time for impedance, right? That those parachutes to catch air and slow the ball down. So basically, we need barrels kind of readjusted. And not to say blast is the answer. I actually think the answer is probably somewhere in between. But blast are the ideal subset of barrels. I believe it's developed by Connor Kay, who's at Fangraphs and is now working for the Astros R&D department. So yeah, it's smart, right? Houston Astros to the fore of heavy analytics the understanding of this stuff, again, is a smaller percent of the population, even among the professionals that we'd like to admit. So back to Corey Seager is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, think about an ideal batted ball event, 16% of the time, but on 80% contact. That's just freakish. Freakish. We mentioned that 366 ISO, it's 375 against the fastballs and 11 of those home runs. Not to be outdone, the rest of the surrounding cast. Texas, one of the better fastball hitting teams in the year. Adoli, Simeon, Jung. And there was one more. I think it's Garver. I wrote Adoli's twice. That's incorrect. Minimum 10% barrel with 8 home runs. Texas just kills fastball. We've mentioned this. And they're hot at the right time. They up off the bat, OPMG. So I see that avatar in the corner of my eye. What's up, dude? You know, Texas mashes. And that was what got me in trouble in getting into the playoffs in the beginning. I like to focus on pitching. Pitching, not say it's not where it's at. Hitting is where it's at. That's just it. Where it's at. You know, you got to get those 2 bags in the microphone, baby. So I like the Seager. I really like the Seager total bases. I also really like the HRR, but getting to 3, it's not usually my bag. But I guess at plus money, it's pretty good. Brian E., what's going on? Usual suspects rolling in to the restaurant where the chefs eat. Jay, can I let you pick? How about you pick? Either way, I really like both of them. I have them just by a nose. Do you like the plus money on the 2.5? I mean, again, I think the argument for the hit runs and ribbies is very strong because the lineup is very strong, right? All the surrounding stuff is really strong. Right? We're not afraid of him not getting knocked in. So maybe the hits run ribbies is the answer. While you're there, do me a solid. Open up the team total for the Rangers as well. You got to imagine that one's at a 7. Jay says the Don gets us there as always. Talk about words to live by. Talk about advice, man. So we're gonna go with the hit run ribby. I really like that. That's sharp. And for your information, Jay, clear your throat. The team total for the Rangers is 4.5 minus 110. I think we want to get that also. Yeah, William Craig, I saw that. Yeah. I think he's it also. I think that might have been him. I think, oh no. If Connor's not a rocket scientist, I think Connor was like a brain surgeon or something. I'm dead serious. Like I knew he was. So yeah, you absolutely get it. When they find people in these really niche, hyper intellectual parts of the world, you know, like out there in the general professional world. And they must have interest in baseball or looking to do other stuff and just have a second act. And man, it's unbelievable. So I think I like the team total also. Let's go with that, right? I mean, if we're going to get the homer, we should get the 110, 4.5. I really like that. Baltimore bullpen has been stubborn. But again, you're just not looking for too much. And it just happens with home runs. Jay kind of nailed it. You know, it's a home run thing. I'm afraid Creamer gets in trouble. The backup Gibson also kind of contact pitching. I don't think that's going to help him either. So Texas is rolling. Texas doing a thing on offense. Let's go with that. Let's finish it up on the other side. Nate Eovaldi came out, was really good. 6 1/3, gave up 0. 5 hits, no walks, 8 Ks, super strong outing. Despite the fastball still kind of down, right? That was our concern. I mean, right, also, was like, we worried. He finished the regular season terribly. He gave up 12 earned runs his last 8 1/3. It's ridiculous. He like backed, into the playoffs. But who knows? The thing that I did notice, I mentioned it at the open, was the offbeat stuff. I see the comment section of my eye, and listeners talking about making money and working with each other. It's just, my heart is aflutter and melting away right now. Jay, of course, I forgot to pass it off to you. So before we finish it, nothing worse than reading an ad on the way out the door before we, lay him out with the last bet. Tell them all about betstamp.app, please.
For sure, John. I'll let everyone know here about betstamp.app. Betstamp is the easiest way to improve as a sports bettor. We find that comparing odds across every sports book can really help you improve and make sure that, 1, you lose less, and 2, that you win more. Betstamp is simply an odds comparison tool. Compares odds across every sports book, including games, player props, and futures. Save time and money. Download the app today. And if you're looking to sign up for new sports books, reminder to everyone that you can head over to betstamp.app/call to the pen And if you sign up through that page, it helps support the show. Now back to John.
Thank you so much, man. I know you're too nice to admit it, but you must eye roll when I tell you I'm going to hand it off there. Like, you actually gave me a good signal, and then I didn't follow through. Right? I was out there on the runway, and then I kind of went to get a cup of coffee and with smoke. I forgot all about the airplane coming in. Jay, man, I'm sorry. We do love you very much. All right, so let's finish up the back end. Talking about Eovaldi and the key to the success. Jeff L., good to see you, man. The key to the success for Eovaldi in the first start was landing the off speed. Right? He got a 35% whiff rate on the splitter. He had a 63% whiff rate on the curve. Wow. Is it going to be repeated against a team that, hits fastballs as well? Though we've mentioned throughout the year and throughout the last these playoff shows, Baltimore struggled down the stretch against righties. Right-handed pitching that gave them some problems. Off-speed stuff in particular. So they're going to be, going to be waiting fastball. I would imagine if they see early count fastballs, they're going to look to jump on it. Not give Eovaldi the count to rely on the splitter and the curve. Again, when those pitchers are going, they're pretty much unhittable. If Eovaldi falls behind, he's in a lot of trouble. So that's why I like the team total more than I like, the Texas line here. Well, Texas is probably favored in this one in the first place. I thought I had the lines on me and I lost them. Texas minus 135. Yeah, I'd much rather minus 110 in a race to 5 runs than paying more juice to rely now on Eovaldi being good. Because this one has a potential to shoot out. That's where where I've been leaning. We talked about the worries with the Texas bullpen, but they're pitching great right now. So, although Baltimore got him right, Baltimore got him late. I forgot about that. Sorry, I might have to scratch that last part. Shoot, I don't have it on me. I had the bullpen game logs. Playoff stuff is really hard to find in mine. You have to go get it by hand, and it's funny. Fangraphs for the Jedi library that it is. The playoff stuff's very hard to find. Crip Zombie, good morning. Welcome to the world's finest geek out session. Appreciate that. Take a lot of pride in that. Restaurant where the chefs eat, plus EV thinkers. Come here just to see what's going on. Right? It's never, they want to know what I think to copy me. I hate that. People so arrogant. You should be really confident. I am unbelievably confident. Why wouldn't I be? You should be. If you're not confident in your work, you're never going to be great. The key, last lesson incoming, life lesson, because I don't have any more bets. Surround yourself with positive people that share a common goal, that want to see you succeed rather than fail, that will love you enough to tell you to bring it in. It's that simple. You want to be, you don't want to be around people that are negative, and you don't want to be around people that don't think they're great at what they do. You want hardworking, ambitious, effective people that are confident. Important to be confident. Lots of talent wasted on lack of confidence. Unfortunately so. Myself included as a younger man. See, that was pretty good stuff, right? That's the stuff that matters more than absolutely more than anything. So like I said, I'm stuck on the fence with Baltimore. I want them to hit. I'd like to see them close the gap in the series, but I worry. To me, the big advantage here is the Texas bats against the Baltimore, the weakness in the starting pitching. Something we mentioned at the outset. I know we bet Baltimore to win the series. I thought they'd split the first two and have a chance. Grayson got rocked in the second. That was all she wrote, right? He gave up 5 in the second, I think. So, the Orioles on the ropes, rolling out contact pitchers against a really excellent hitting team. This could be the end for the O's. Kind of feels like it. Kind of feels like it, unfortunately. And then the first one, I'm looking forward to a really kind of hard-fought series the rest of the way out. I tend to think Twins get it done today, but the good version of Javier worries me a little bit, but hopefully we'll just get him with all the props. That'll do it, Jay. End it early today. Get everyone out of here. Early breakfast. That will do it. Thanks for picking up what we're putting down here. Do us a favor, Jay. Let's roll back those love the BetStamp app. Really one of the cooler things that I've added into my own portfolio, right? The ability to see different prices. And then, of course, for the very, very, very last lesson, promise, right? Why we love BetStamp so much. And the one thing I know that's not included in the ad that really kind of moves the needle for me is not only being able to get a better price, which is like, obviously, that's great. But it's being able to read the tape, right? If you see 10 different books that are different, you can help better understand directionality if you know the open, right? So if you know the opening price, and now you see where they've moved since, that's probably the best way to pick off totals, especially. Jay hasn't mentioned it to me, but I know we've done that quite a few times, and it's paid off. Right, so using apps like BetStamp to read directionality in the market, of course, if you're good with the BetStamp app, like Jay's very proficient with the app, there's a line history. He's showing it to you for the video people. Great job, Jay. Really, really 80 grade. Because again, it's here. I forget to mention it. Then I've asked you a dozen times, how do you know that? He's like, it's right here. So you can actually track these lines' movement. All sports, which is phenomenal. I usually look in the morning, so I kind of know where these things are going. But yeah, understanding how to use the tape to read directionality is huge. Today's example of the Twins might be it, right? We saw a 3.5, we saw a 4, we saw a 4.5. Going to be interesting to see where those kind of end up, where the juice goes. So that'll do it. Enjoy the 2 games. Enjoy your day. And when we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. Crip Zombie, OBMG, all the Bryans you can handle. Pass the prop. We appreciate you for being part of the phalanx. Where we give the books nothing, take from everything here at Sparta. Remember, you work this hard, feels a lot less like luck, yo. As long as there's a game being played, we will be here in the morning, right? That's the one rule. No games, no show. You heard it here first, but we will see you tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., everybody. Peace.